we stuck out like a Thor. We stuck out like a sore thumb.
You stuck out like Thor.
Like Thor. Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia.
And I'm Luciana.
And this is Where We Land, a podcast about immigrating and multicultural identity.
Before we begin, don't forget to send us your questions, opinions, comments, stories about moving to the U.S. by writing to us at whereweland@gmail.com. Okay, so what are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about friendships among immigrants. So when you move to a new country, you have to obviously make friends.
Yeah.
And there's a built-in relatability that you find with fellow immigrants, right? They have already moved there from somewhere else, and they've had to figure out this new cultural landscape of this new country they're in, which is something that you are having to do at that time. So it's helpful to befriend them, and it's also easy to relate to them, right?
Very.
Because they've been in the same boat that you're in now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What have you found in your time living in different countries about making friends with other people who also weren't from that country?
You know, I kind of think that it's even been before making the move for me. Like I would kind of speak with, so I moved for grad school. So people that had already moved or that had already done the admissions process, like.
Are you talking about like Peruvians that had also studied in the U.S. or what? Okay.
Peruvians that had also studied in the U.S., specifically in New York City, where I was applying to.
Right. Okay.
NYU or other schools that, one was applying to. And
oh my God, you're so smart. I didn't do that.
Yeah, I think that it was encouraged. I remember it was like a really like a kind of like a community of like all of these people that are going through this admissions process. We're all writing the letters, doing the tests, and going through the same steps. So it's kind of like speaking with people that had already done it. I remember that was a thing. I remember even like the school providing me maybe some resources to like sync up with other people on the same boat. But that was like pre-move. And then also like kind of like, hey, I'm in. Now I'm looking at a living situation. Where do you recommend? Like I remember taking it so far that like I had a friend of a friend who was living in a building and she was like, oh, let me check if there's like apartments available here. Like just kind of like, and just talking about all of the things and like bring this, don't bring that, make sure you bring, kind of all of those tips and tricks.
Yeah, the tips that you need to know. That's important stuff. Like where to live especially, I feel like is a big one.
Yeah, that was really useful. And then when I had friends that were like then later interested in the program that I came to do that reached out to me and kind of like pay it forward, let's sync, like let me help you. So that was a way to like kind of like already start building community and just kind of understanding a bit of like what to expect. And then when you get there, you feel like, oh, I have someone I can call, which I think makes a world of difference. Instead of having to call back home if you need help, you have someone like an emergency contact in the city that isn't the school, right? So that, but I would say that like once you're like upon arrival, yes, what you were getting at about like connecting with someone, like instantly like locking eyes or just like knowing that, oh, this person is not from here too. It's like magnets that attract, right? Like it's just like, I know exactly what you're going through. Like you're all saying all this.
Yeah, it's like a big like, oh yeah, me, you too? Same. Okay, let's
and it's just like you don't have to say much. You're kind of just like instantly in a new place in the same level where you can kind of just feel closer, quicker, than you would with someone who's not. I think the same thing now that I'm in it may happen with motherhood. I don't think in the same way that because parenting styles are so different, but like, I think that there is this like, oh, you're a mom of small kids, and there's just like this look like, I got you. I know exactly where you're at right now.
An understanding of what they're going through.
Literally the other day, I walk into the elevator leaving the grocery store and to the parking lot, and I was with my two kids, and this other mom, similar age to me, had two small young children. Literally, I think she had one on top and like the other one was on the cart, and we just like locked eyes, and I was like, You know, and she's like, yeah, like, it's just, we just both were like, yep. She's like, I was like, I'm solo parenting this weekend. And she's like, yeah, my husband's been away for 2 weeks on work
Oh
travel.
my
And I'm
God,
like-
2
and
weeks.
there's just this like level of, I know what you're going through, girl, you know?
Yeah. That's nice. It's like a nice head nod, like of recognition as you walk down the street, you know?
Yeah.
I actually, when I was thinking about this, I actually thought of even when we were like really, really little, like I'm thinking when we were living in California, you know, our first time in the US, our parents moved there when we were toddlers. And I was thinking like, oh, how did I make friends there? Like that go around.
Yeah.
And then I remembered like, oh yeah, we had friends in like each one of our grades and whatever at school, but our best friend, we had one best friend in common.
Shout out Christina.
Shout out Christina. And Christina, our very best friend, had a mom who was from Spain. And we actually met her because her mom and our mom became friends and they like put us together one day.
Her mom and my mom and our mom were like volunteers in my classroom.
In your classroom. Yeah.
Because she had a son that was in my classroom and they met and they were like, we are the two native Spanish speakers. We will be best friends forever.
Exactly. That happened to them. Yeah, they bonded
happened to
instantly. And so they forced us to hang out with their kids quite a few times. And we instantly, best friends with Christina, even though Christina was a year younger than me and I'm a year younger than you, like even with those age differences at elementary school where you really feel them, best friends, the three of us up and down. And I remember just her house feeling so familiar. Like her mom would talk to them in Spanish all the time and she would want them to respond in Spanish as well. And they didn't really want to. And I'm like, oh, it's just like us. And then like over the holidays, we would go to Peru. They would go to Spain to visit relatives, you know? Yeah. And it was just like, there was no explaining. Cause I remember in school, like after winter break, if someone asked you why you were tan, it was an explanation. It was like, oh, I was in Peru. Oh, because I'm from Peru. Oh, because I go there to spend Christmas with my grandparents.
It's summer there. And for Christmas, we spend like, we leave the Friday that school's out and we come back the night before school comes back because we make the most of that time with our family. And
and I just remember at such a young age, even explaining, because we don't know about hemispheres yet. We're in the third grade. Right. So even just explaining it's summer back in Peru, they're like, whoa, like kids, you were blowing kids' minds with every sentence.
Right.
Whereas with Christina, it was just like, yeah, we went to Peru and she's like, oh yeah, you were at the beach. She just knew. She's like, yeah, I get it. When I go to Spain, same deal.
And they would go for like, sometimes like the whole summer. So it's again, like going back in the day for these long periods of time because travel wasn't as common as it was today. It was like not as accessible as it was today. So when you would go for a big chunk of time. You know, it's not like today you can kind of see a lot of families going back and forth multiple times a year. It's just more accessible. And back in the day, it certainly was not something that a lot of people, I think it was like the 1 a year trip where you would just get your whole family there. Yeah, this like the ease of friendship with, in the case of Peru, with all people from Latin America, from Spain, from Spanish-speaking countries, where it's just like you say, like this familiarity, but also, and like I'm noticing it now. Like, so I have a couple neighbors that when I first moved here, one was from Ecuador, married to a Venezuelan, and it's just like this immediate, unspoken, we're gonna operate under different norms, under the norms that we know to be true. So
under
like,
our culture.
We're
going to behave according to our culture.
We are going to kiss on the cheek even though we just met. We are going to make social plans very—
Oh my gosh, the kissing on the cheek, you just reminded me. So on Saturday, I went out with a friend from Peru, Fran. She invited me to like this food festival, whatever. And I went and we were there with another friend of hers who was American, just born and raised American kid. But since I was with Fran, I felt like majority rules.
Yeah,
so like,
for sure.
So like the Spanish culture overtook me and she was like, and I know this guy. I've hung out with him before. I know how American he is. And still like, I was like, oh, Fran, hi, mwah, mwah. Hi, how are you? Mwah, mwah. And I was like,
Yeah.
what's,
And then
and
you
he
like
was a little
realize
startled.
after, like, oh,
Yes, he was a little hesitant, but he let me do it. And then his hesitancy alerted me that, like, oh, right.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm
We
sorry.
just had some friends over for dinner, and there was one American. Aside from my husband, there was one American guest. The rest were all international people from Spanish-speaking countries. So
Right.
everyone was just kissing left and right. And the American friend was like, sure, also doing, and just like, like good on her, like she was just
Yes.
like, yeah,
I love it. I love it when they join in, when they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, when in Rome.
Yeah, exactly. And anyway, I was getting at, so like, yes, like the immediate, just like we're going to operate under these norms and just like our cultural norms. And so we are going to kiss on the cheek. We are going to make plans just, with very little notice. We are just going to, like, there's just like, oh, like we really haven't known each other that long, but it's almost like we've known each other for forever, And that's really nice. It's just very, when we're home, like going over to their house, going to someone's house for the first time can feel a little maybe uncomfortable. Like, feels like you're just going to a friend's house that you've been to a bunch of times.
Yes. What is that? That is so
nice.
true. What is, it's just comfort. You're like automatically you walk in and you know that like you can follow her into the kitchen without any problems because you just know that's what we do, Yeah. Whereas like if it's an American woman's house that I'm going to for the first time, I will walk in as far as she will tell, and then I will just wait for her to come back if she goes somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm not going to follow her to the different rooms in her house, but if she's Latin, I'm following her. I'm following her into her bedroom. I'm following her into her bathroom as she puts on her makeup.
It's like this familiar little, I'm not going to say boundary less, but a lot less boundaries, very comfortable area, and it's really nice. And I think it definitely does extend, like it's obviously most comfortable and easy with other Spanish speaking, like Spain, Latin America for us. But I think it's like one of my best friends here is from Paris, and we've spoken about like our connection and these cultural norms that are very similar, and how it's been so easy for us to connect and be really close.
So it's one thing to connect on, like you said, the struggle of what we're going through right now. It's also another thing to connect on like the background and culture and how we normally behave around each other, and we have similar norms in that sense. But the other thing that I've found also that helps immigrant relationships and friendships is how we observe the current country we're living in. And the things that we find odd are sometimes the same things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we talk about the culture clash on this podcast, we see in the comments and we know from other people that tell us that like, me too, Or
I also found that weird. Yes, that was strange. Yes, I don't get that either.
Yeah, exactly. And that is from also just like another set of cultural norms that the rest of us are kind of more accustomed to,
Yeah. I remember, gosh, okay. So one day we were having this conversation. I was in like this group hang, whatever, at a friend's house here in New York. And it was like, there were a lot of like Latin Americans, but there were also a good handful of like Americans. And one of the Latin Americans was talking about how her little sister is now doing college, like undergrad in the United States.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my gosh. And she said something like, oh, she's gonna join a fraternity. She said fraternity instead of sorority. And she said, oh, she's going to join a fraternity now. She's probably going to like, she has to rush the fraternity. I don't know what they make them do, like all these things. Like, I don't know, like you see in the movies, blah, blah, blah. And one of the American girls was like, oh my gosh, you're so not American. It's called a sorority. Like girls go to sororities, boys go to fraternities. Yeah. And she's like, and the girls don't have, what did she call it? Like they don't do hazing. That's just the boys. And it felt like a correction where she was, the way she said, oh my gosh, you're so not American. I know she didn't mean like any harm by it, but it was just a very clear, like a line in the sand was drawn, and it was like very obvious in that second, like that the Americans were over here and that the Latin American people were over here. And I was like, oh, why did that feel so chilly just now? That was very, and all the Latin Americans felt it. We were all like, girl, that wasn't a necessary correction. Like, there was nothing wrong with what she was saying, but okay. Yeah. And we all, afterwards, all the Latin Americans commented, like, that was kind of a weird comment, right? And then one of the American girls heard and she was like, no, that was a weird comment. That was.
Oh, really?
She didn't need to say that. And we're like, okay, we're not the only ones. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
But it's that, like, the understanding of culture or the not understanding of culture, right?
What unites you, what bonds.
Yeah, like
what
between
holds-
all the immigrants that were there, all the Latin American people that were there, like sorority, fraternity, we know what you mean. But to this
Right.
girl, I remember the way she clarified it, it was very important to her. Like
Yeah.
she had come from the Greek culture in her college experience. And for her, it was really important
It's like,
for
you
you
should
to
know this.
understand
Right.
that sorority is this and fraternity is this, and they're two different things and they have different cultures and it's not the same. And we were like, oh, this is important to her. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Foreign culture to us, you know?
Obviously, we've said how it's easier to connect with people from, the same or similar culture. So like someone from Spain or someone from Latin America for us. And how maybe the cultural part kind of isn't there when you meet an immigrant for somewhere totally different. Like, let's say when you meet someone from China, right? Who really couldn't have much in common with like a Peruvian, right? Or I guess like culturally, right? If you find that, is it just that you're on the same boat or the shared immigrant experience that unites you? Or is it something beyond that also like makes you feel a little closer, if close at all, to that person? Like someone who's like really, or I think like someone Russian or someone like Eastern European. Because
Yeah.
like that is like a culture. Like I think of someone from Sweden,
Right.
or Dutch.
I think
like
it's
they're just so foreign.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To Peruvians.
It's really like, I guess there's layers to it, right? Like one
Yeah.
thing is, oh, we're both immigrants. That's like one layer of connection that you
Yeah.
can find.
That's like there is
like recognition, right? And so there's an
recognition,
attempt at something. But then I think the next layer, which is an even easier connection, is like, oh, we're both from Spanish speaking countries. Great.
yeah.
And then the maximum layer of ease is like, oh, you're a Peruvian? Oh my
Oh
God,
my God.
come here.
Well, like we're basically blood right now.
Yes, we're related somehow, right?
Yeah.
Of course. So those are levels of ease. And I think that, yes, I would love to think that just because we're both immigrants, we're going to automatically connect and bond just as quickly, like if we were both Peruvians.
Right.
That's sadly like not the case in
It's
my
not.
experience.
It's not in mine either. And I remember some guests on the show also saying no. Like I'm more connected to like the Americans in my experience because the other immigrants were so different for me.
I think it was also like a lack of like even knowledge or awareness of the foreign culture, because like since we're in the United States, we're being exposed to American culture on the daily. So you can connect to Americans because you understand where they're coming from and what their culture is. But if I meet someone from like Senegal, I have no reference. So we're really starting from scratch and trying to like connect, right? And I have found that the people from other countries that I've connected to hasn't been on a cultural note when I think about it. Like I became really close with this guy from India, born and raised, like had a completely different upbringing in life. He went to boarding school in London. But like very strict traditional Indian parents, like goes to India every year to visit them. And I remember like our points of connection had nothing to do with our background or our culture or our families even.
Right.
Our point of connection was we loved reading the same things. We liked the same authors. We could talk about that endlessly. I always liked writing, and he was like, oh my God, you should keep writing. You should always write. You should write more. Let me read what you're writing. And he secretly wanted to do that, but he was in finance. And just like struggling on the struggle bus making a lot of money, but on the struggle bus.
So interests, like shared love for literature and writing and all that. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. I've found that with a lot of like, when I've thought about like all my truly foreign friends, like no connection to Peru, no connection to the United States, completely foreign from any culture I know. That's what it's been. Like I made a close Norwegian friend, and it was the same thing. He was an incredibly interesting human, and he was like super smart, and
Yeah.
I loved everything and how his brain worked, but it worked so differently from mine. But
For
he
sure.
was so interesting, and he had a love of history. I was in my watching documentaries phase. Remember that
Right,
phase? I had a
right.
phase, guys. I watched all the Ken Burns documentaries, and he was a history buff, so we connected on that. Like,
Those were pandemic watches for me. Like,
oh, really?
the
Oh,
Ken
this was
Burns, yeah.
pre-pandemic. I did it of my own free will.
Mine was like, pandemic, let's go. Ken Burns, what you got? Let's watch them all. Like, we had time.
Yeah.
We had time in 2020.
Yeah. We had time for a lot of things.
So,
oh boy.
I agree with that. My like, I guess, like, we'll say, like, more foreign friends, the ones that I'm like, oh, I can point out your country in the map, and that's about it. You know, they have been over interest, or like people that I have met like in school, whether it was in grad school or when I did film school or that photography class. And it was just like people, insanely different backgrounds, you know, but just had either the same, we were after the same goal or were interested in the same thing. And that really,
that's very connecting. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's so wonderful. And I don't think that is something like that is something so awesome about America and New York in general, that you get to connect with people that are so different from you, because that is really hard to obtain in Peru, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just
Peru
like
isn't
this
as international. No.
This like connection that we're talking about with immigrants happens in these big cosmopolitan first world cities because they
attract foreigners. Yeah.
It's just not an experience that I would have or be able to talk to. I guess like when we moved, when we were little, but you know, we were little and it just feels so different.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, you know, I would be able to have that had I not spent a chunk of time here. Even like when I lived in Mexico for a couple of years, I didn't like, it wasn't as diverse as New York
not.
City.
Yeah. It's not like you have to look at like immigration rates, right?
Yeah.
And in the United States, especially in a city like New York, they're pretty big. Yeah.
Like you will find every country on the map.
Yeah. And speaking about like the difficulty of how it can be difficult to connect with someone that is like so foreign to you, I have this like memory of when I was in grad school, in one of my classes, there were these two girls. One was from Egypt. The other one, I can't remember if she was also from Egypt or just some other part of Northern Africa. I don't remember. But they were, let's just say both of them were like from Northern Africa. And I remember they were so nice. They were like sweet, sweet girls. They were both really smart. And in the class, like we would talk. We would spend a lot of time like talking together whenever there were groups. We were like, we were always tried to be in the same group together. And I remember I really liked them. And like, I would try to tell them like, oh, we're doing this later with other people if you guys want to come. And they would never show up. And they were very shy and kind of like cautious about like exploring the city. That didn't really sound like something they were like up for. So I dropped a couple of hints at like invitations if they wanted to show up or not. They never did. And I was like, what is this? What is this thing? What is this beer? Because I would tell them about like, we would like see each other on like the Monday or Tuesday, whenever our first class was of the week. And we would talk about what we did over the weekend. And I would tell them like everything I was up to. And they would tell me that basically they didn't do much. And they were always like, oh yeah, you like to go out a lot. Like and I was like, what is this cultural barrier that I'm feeling right now? And why can't we, I just wanted to get through it. I just wanted to be like,
right.
Do you guys just see me as a party girl? Am I like a crazed party girl in your eyes? Like, tell me, like, what is it? What is it? Or like, I just couldn't put my finger on it. And I spent like that entire semester being like, I like these girls. These girls are fun, but I think I will never see them outside of class. I just think that's not.
So you never got to the bottom of it? Like, what was it?
No, I never got to the bottom of it.
I was like waiting.
No.
I wonder.
That's the thing that like racks my brain. I was like, what was that? What was that? Because we got along really well.
Yeah.
when we were like when we were in school, when we were talking about what we needed to talk about and what we wanted, and like this class, how hard it was, or studying, or this, we were good. But then as soon as I was like, they were like, oh, what did you do for the weekend? And I would tell them, and they would get like very like shy and very like, and they would always say that they didn't do much. And I was like, what is that? What is this? What's going on right now? Why is
I feel
there a
like we
wall
could
now?
be best friends. What is going on? Why are you not
Yes.
making this happen?
Yeah. And I'm like, or is there something I should, like, maybe they just want to go have some tea somewhere. Like I was down. I was down for
Yeah.
whatever they wanted. And there was just something there that wasn't allowing us to connect. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what message I was sending, that I don't know.
That they were like, no, Claudia, no.
Right. Maybe, yeah.
Like, take your plans, get out of here.
Yeah. I don't like it. Have you ever had
Love
that where
that.
like, you're like, I don't know what this person is seeing when they look at me, but I don't think it's,
I've had a thought of like, oh, this person and I are going to be just like really close friends. Like, I totally see her as someone who's very similar to me, blah, blah. And then it didn't happen. And that was weird.
oh,
Like,
really?
or like, and to no one's fault. Like, I think like either
right.
you hung out with other people, time got away. And then by the end of like, you know, the time that you were like, or a couple, I don't know, a year would pass and it's like, I wonder what that person and I just never got around to it. You know?
You know what Peruvians do is we get overexcited. We have a couple of drinks and we're like, we're best friends.
No.
Oh
I'm talking about like,
come to my wedding.
no. I'm talking like sober, like in class, like
Oh,
an
okay.
orientation. Like there was never really like a moment to hang out. Like, oh, we seem like a similar vibe. We're totally gonna hang out, and then it never happened. I'm thinking of a.
Okay.
This one wasn't a person from Latin America, but gosh, I kind of think she was from Estonia. I can't remember really, but it was 20 years ago.
Okay, fellow foreigner.
Yeah, fellow foreigner. And I was like, oh, I think like we're a similar vibe. Like, I think we'll totally get together. And then she invited me to something I couldn't go. And I invited her to something and she couldn't go. And then like, you know, something like I didn't.
That happens
I showed
too.
up after she had left. And then, you know, and then we just like.
Yeah, you didn't connect.
You know, 3 months went by and we never saw each other. And that was that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, but I think that's just, you know, also like in New York where you
that
have-
also happens. Yes, I was gonna say New York. This is a city where like you have to like attack friendships like you attack dating, man.
Right.
You got to follow up. If they're not texting, they're not. You know, you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
Or else you
Yeah.
got to make the next date happen. Or else I feel like I date my friends sometimes.
Oh, for sure. I'm dating
Yeah.
my friends too. And like now, like with, you know, kids, we're like dating, you know, the family. Like it's like, or do our kids mash? Do we mash? Like, is this
Yeah.
a clique? So many variables. Like, you know.
I know.
And I do think that there is this, like, if you find an international family, for those of us that are like international or like blended.
that must be golden.
It is no, I would say it's like kind of we just like attract each other. I think we're kind of like always, you know, that is an attractive feature. I think that, you know, in schools or in groups that you're gonna find in the same way that like for school and graduate school, like there were a lot of immigrants, but and immigrants, you know, a huge group that would like hang. But then there would be, you know, subgroups like the Latin Americans would hang together, the Europeans, and within the Europeans, the Italians would hang together, and then the French would. Yeah, so everyone kind of just finds their own. It's easy, it's familiar, it's nice. I had still have them to this day. A group of girlfriends. We were 7 or 8 girls from Latin America. That was like our chosen family while we were living in New York and navigating that together. And it was great. And I think I've talked about it. It was like really nice to just have this moment where you could just speak Spanish and like just be yourself and, you know, it just feels like, you know, just so comfortable. You know,
that's what it is. I think
it's like
there is
taking
something
your
to
shoes
that.
off after a long day. It's just like
I think there is something to the language that allows you to be, because you know there's this thing I think we've talked about before where like when you speak in Spanish it's almost one side of you, it's one side of your personality. And when you're speaking in English, this other side of your personality comes out, and they're not two different people. You know, you're not schizophrenic. It's just what comes out. It's like, I explain it to people that aren't bilingual by saying like, it's like, when you dated like Peter and you were this one way with Peter, and then you dated Paul and you were like slightly a different girlfriend with Paul, right? Because they bring out different sides of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel with languages. It's like when I speak Spanish, Spanish brings out this one side of me. When I speak English, it brings out this other side of me. They're both me. And I feel like with friends who speak Spanish, it's like, oh, they're allowing me to be this other side of me that I'm not on my day-to-day. I speak English and I'm this side of me. And having friends that speak Spanish allows me to go back to that other side of me that's so familiar and so nice.
Yeah. I think those are the best moments when it's like someone comes out of left field and they're like, oh, well, this is like, we are connecting on so many things that I would have never thought that someone so different feels so close to me. I do feel like that about a lot of American friends today in the US.
Yeah.
And foreign friends that I'm like, oh, I never thought I would have a very good friend.
That's the fun part. That's
like,
the fun,
like what you said, like from
part.
Senegal, that is so different. I never those are really interesting. But it kind of makes sense. Like there is this just familiarity between all of us. We're all the same anyway. So
yeah, but it's still difficult though. Like.
It's difficult. I think breaking the barriers and just having an open mind is the trickiest part.
Yeah. Like these girls from Northern Africa that I told you about that I was like, girls, let me in, like sometimes
they didn't like you.
I think they didn't.
Okay. Do you remember their names? Do you want to be like, hey,
oh my gosh.
I want to know.
No. It was a while ago.
You're like, no, I tried hard in person.
Yeah, I tried hard in person and that's it. They rejected me. But I do think for me, it's like, if you're Peruvian, I think we'll connect. If you come from a Spanish speaking country, we'll likely connect. And then everyone else, I think it's depends person to person. I think like it really will, like mileage will vary, because in my own personal experience, mileage has varied. Like some,
for sure. And also it takes two to tango. Like it is an open-mindedness from you and from the other person. And just like, again, the moment of life you're in.
Yeah. Like I've met like some Americans where like the kissing thing took over me and I wanted to give them a kiss. And like, they like, no. Like it was a harsh rejection. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be friends with this person. I think this human doesn't like me now. I think this is a hard no, you know? And it's just hard. Like one thing can like, so yeah. I don't know, guys. Maybe it's me.
This has turned into a poll. We are asking you to send your
if you've met me and found me bizarre, let me know.
Is it Claudia?
Oh gosh, it's just it's complicated to make friends abroad, guys. That's our conclusion. Yeah. It's complicated, but it can be very fun, very surprising. And like you said, like
keep an open mind.
The people from the most random places, when you connect with them, it really does make you feel like, wow.
I mean, that I might be that for someone, like I have this friend from Peru, they might say about me. Like that's so random.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes.
Like, thank you for keeping an open mind, and it's just
I am the international quota for a lot of people. Yes.
Right? Like
yeah.
And that's not even like not in cities like New York or DC where there's so many, but for sure at some moment in someone's life, I feel like I may have been that. And maybe more back in the day where like it was, I think like less common, or when we were young, when we were little in California.
Oh my gosh, we were the only Peruvian family, I think, besides one doctor. There was one Peruvian doctor in our family, and that was it.
Yeah. So for sure then. For sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Keep an open mind, guys.
Befriend me. Let me kiss you.
Claudia, you need to ask for consent.
Latin Americans don't ask for consent. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, time for Culture Clash Flashback. In this Culture Clash, I want to talk about my experience at a honky tonk.
Oh, do share, please.
I know. It was.
Do we have some photos? Do we have some videos? Something we can
I
introduce?
do, but I'm not going to show them to anyone on the internet. Okay, so I went to Austin, Texas with a group of girlfriends. We had a lot of fun together. One night we went out to a honky tonk because some of the girls were like, give us that good old cowboy dancing experience.
Mm-hmm.
There was a man on a horse at the door.
I would expect nothing less.
Nothing less. There was a live band. Everyone inside the honky tonk was older. I'm talking, they had 20 years on us, okay?
Oh.
It was that kind of establishment.
Okay.
It was full of, like, these people were locals. The bartender knew all their names. They were all, it was very heavily male. Most of them were older gentlemen that were just there having beers. And there were also a lot of like married couples. And there was live music and a lot of people were dancing. Like there was a lot of dancing. Like the married couples, like the guys would go out and they would like swing the girls around.
Oh,
and,
that's so fun.
It was very cute.
That's really cute. It sounds like pretty wholesome.
It was like, because also it was like a Thursday night, I think. Like it was very cute, very wholesome. We stuck out like a sore thumb because we were a group of really young girls for them, you know. For them, come on. You're not gonna let me call us young. You
really
bitch.
young? We're a couple of really young girls. That makes you sound like
Lucy,
you're 20.
these people were in their 60s. For us, we were really young girls.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were like, to them, we were a group of girls. Like we were the youngest in the entire establishment.
Right.
And when we like got up to go to the bar, like the guy on the mic fully, like in the band, the guy on the mic fully called us out. And he was like, oh, they came with their sundresses in the middle of fall. And yes, it's the middle of fall, but it was like 90 degrees outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We were, mind you, everyone was like in jeans and like cowboy boots. Some of the girls were wearing.
Did you get a pair of boots? Were you rocking?
We did not rock our boots. We got boots later. Like towards the end of the trip. I got boots towards the end of the trip. Yes, I did.
I feel like, again, you should be showing us the boots. I expect it for the next show. Like, I want to see these boots.
Maybe. Who knows? Be nice to me.
Befriend me.
Befriend me.
Okay.
And maybe I'll show you guys boots. So he calls us out because we were wearing like summer dresses, you know, bright colors. Everyone in there was wearing jeans and like black and blue was like the colors of the night. So we did stick out a lot. But
I'm like imagining The Hunting Wives. Did you ever watch The Hunting Wives? You know,
okay, yes, like, it was like
that. Okay,
but they were all older.
Okay.
Like we were the youngest things there, and we're not that young. I mean, come on, right? Yeah. But so everything was much chiller, and the music, the type of music, was very old school country music. Did you guys
dance?
So when we were getting our drink on with the girlies at our table, this older gentleman comes up to us and says, "Would any of you ladies like to dance?" And of course, all of my friends are like, no, like we were tired. We had been out all day. It had been a long night, whatever. And I turn and I look at him, and he's giving me grandfather vibes, right?
Okay.
So I was like, I'll go dance with you, sure. And my friends were like, yay, go Claudia, yay. And so I went and I told him, I don't know what dance they're doing. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll lead you. And so he takes me out. He spins me around.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
He teaches me the count. He's like, okay, and it's a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and I was like, oh, I can follow this. I can follow him. I know what he's doing. And we danced one full song, and then he was like, well, thank you very much. And he—
can we— I like literally, you don't have to show it but I need to see a video. Like I need to— tell me your friends like recorded something.
I think there's something, but yeah.
Yes,
so, and
Cute.
he was so nice. He was so polite. He taught me the dance. He was very complimentary, said I did it really, really well, returned me to my friends, and then left us alone. And I was like, can men my age treat me this way, please?
Yeah.
Because he was just so nice and so polite and so respectful and so great. He's like, let me teach you this dance. I want to dance with one of you girls. And he was so sweet to us. And I was like, damn, can I go to a bar and have this same
I know, right?
exchange?
New
And except we
Yorkers,
danced
take
to like,
note.
you know?
Yeah. So fun.
Anyway, I loved it. It was a positive culture clash. I was clashing all the way. We were literally clashing all the way. Everyone was like, where are you girls from? Because it ain't from here. And we were like, yup. But it was so nice. It was such a nice culture clash.
That sounds like a good time. Lastly, it's our current faves. This is where we share our favorite piece of Peruvian or American culture that we're really into right now. Okay, so I am loving, like the rest of the world, Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl. Loving it. Like,
you know that the rest of the world was maybe a little generous.
I mean, no, because
a lot
I
of
think
people
she
don't
sold,
like it.
Oh, well, but I think people are still like buying it and consuming it, whether, yes. And I also feel like this is so on brand that people will like hate it and then they will love it. So like haters gonna hate.
Very true of Taylor.
Love, like I am consuming it. Okay, so top songs for me are Wish
Ooh,
List.
tell me.
Okay.
Wish list. Okay.
Obviously. Opalite.
Obvious.
The Fate of Ophelia. Eldest Daughter. I feel like those are just like, you know, my tops. But I am really enjoying just listening to the album over and over. Like it's just been really
very
fun.
Listenable. It's like you know
the
what it is?
best music for a commute. Like I am just like I don't skip the songs. Like
no, there's no need.
There's no need. But those are my fave. Like when those songs come on, and I was like, and right before this, like I like. I don't know if, you know, I don't think we've ever talked a ton about Taylor Swift on this podcast but I am not really like, I wasn't like a big Taylor, like a Swiftie.
No, you weren't a huge fan.
No, I wasn't. Like, I really think.
I think I was definitely more of a fan than you.
For sure. I think I just hadn't listened to like a ton. And then with The Summer I Turned Pretty, I started listening to more. And I was like just really loving Midnight. And
I love that The Summer I Turned Pretty made someone a Swiftie. Gosh.
I know. I did like Folklore and Evermore during the pandemic when they came out. And I had to listen to her previous stuff. But I wasn't listening to her in this way. Like I'm so late, but I am, you know, I guess it's never too late.
I think this is your trend. You're late to the bandwagons, but once you jump on, you're like, I'm riding it all the way home.
Like if there were an Eras tour tomorrow, I would be all over Ticketmaster. You know, it's like I know, like please Taylor. I know everybody wants her to do another tour, and I don't think she wants to do one right now because obviously she just did like the best tour of all time. But next tour, whenever that is, in a year, in 10, in whenever, I will be there because really
you know what? Welcome to loving Taylor Swift's music.
I know.
We're happy to have you.
Finally, like 100 years late, but I'm here.
Yeah, I also like this.
What are your favorites?
I have a longer relationship with Taylor Swift. Like I've been like a debut album consumer. Yeah. From the very first album, right? Yeah. Always liked her music. And I gotta say, this album, it's not gonna crack my top 3. It's not gonna replace any of her albums that I have on my top 3.
Yeah. But I mean, to be fair, I think same because I think I have other ones that are my
But that just means she already has great music.
She just has too many like good songs.
Yeah.
Too many good albums. Like this is an amazing problem to have.
This is still like a really good album. It's really fun.
I'm loving it.
Easy to listen to. For me, it compares to like a really bingeable show.
Yes.
Like you know because you know there's Emmy winning shows, Golden Globe winning shows. This is not that. Like, you know?
This is The Summer I Turned Pretty. The Summer I Turned Pretty for me.
Exactly. She's already made the Golden Globe winning show album, right? The critically acclaimed show. Yeah. She's already done that. Yeah. This is not that. This is that really good, bingeable show that you're going to finish in one night. because that's how good the season was, you know?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's just
exactly.
so easy
It's
to
so
listen
good.
to. It's
Yeah.
so easy to
so
listen. You can listen to
fun.
it and like you'll be done really quickly and you'll be like,
What's
whoa,
your
that was a
favorite?
fun
What's
time.
your favorite, your top 3, 4, whatever?
Okay, so I really like all the upbeat stuff. I'm very much like, so I have my favorites are probably the Fate of Ophelia, because that thing
So good.
becomes catchy without you even knowing.
good.
Like,
Okay.
what a thing to
That's
have
up
stuck
there
in your
for me.
head.
That's really up there for me.
It just gets stuck in your head, that one, so quickly.
Wish list too, though. Wish list is
Wish list, yes, but it's not like when it gets a little slower. I don't know. There's some,
Fate of Ophelia. Give me the list. Fate of Ophelia.
Fate of Ophelia is for sure on the top. Opalite, because that's another one that you're just like,
those 2 are.
let me dance, let me groove.
Fire.
Then I also like, I like Wood, man. I know the lyrics are cringy as all hell, but
I like
the bop. I like the funky. I like how funky it is. You know,
I didn't love it. Like, I don't mind it, but it's not. Again, I gave you my top. So okay, so
I like it. I like Wood. I think it's a little funky bop. And then I like Eldest Daughter as well.
Yeah,
because of the lyrics, especially like
Eldest Daughter
second verse toward the end. Because the first verse is a little like,
no,
we're trying to be relatable, talking about the internet.
Eldest Daughter, I thought was just like, oof, got right. Like it's great.
Second verse onward. The first verse, I'm just like listening, and then once she starts with the second verse, I'm like, this is gonna hit me now. And then that bridge is like a classic Taylor move, where she's like, let me reveal something about myself that maybe I was kind of ashamed of like a couple of years ago, and now I'm gonna tell you about it because it like reveals so much about where I am right now in my life.
I also love how she connects everything so subtly. Like, yeah, so good. I'm enjoying it so much. It's definitely, my fave. It's what I'm all about right now.
I'm gonna keep playing it for sure. Like, they're all stuck in my head anyway. Like, even when it's not on, it's on my head, you know?
Yes.
So,
I do know.
That's where I'm at with it. Yeah, Life of a Showgirl, fully enjoyable album.
That wraps it up for today. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode, and give us 5-star reviews on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Ciao, ciao.
Hasta la vista, babies. At Where We Land, we know that some immigrant experiences are harder than others, especially for those at the margins of our current legal system. So if you would like to help, we encourage you to support organizations that provide services for immigrants and champion their rights. You can find a list of organizations in the show notes.